Oh. Happy Thursday. Doing a check 1 2, check 1 2.
Check 1 2, check 1 2.
All right, let me get us pulled up.
All right, let me get us pulled up.
You say that?
Hmm?
Did you just copy what I said?
No, I was drinking my coffee.
Okay, thank goodness. Oh, you're coming in loud and clear. That's why.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
You bastard. It's like I didn't have anything up and I was like, where is this looping through right now?
I was
You're
like,
the
I bet
worst.
I can make him trick him into thinking he has an echo of his own voice.
Oh my goodness. You're kind of the
Ooh.
worst. Okay, let me make sure
Oh my
chat
goodness.
is open. You're kind of the
Ooh.
worst. Okay, let me make sure chat. Now chat is... There we go. Whew.
Okay,
Accidentally
I'm
looped
bringing
us
up
there for
my
a second.
monitor as well. Hold on.
We're going to snooze our ads for 5 minutes. All right. Welcome, everybody. We are here live for Talk About Tatooine. We are going to do a live episode recording today. It's going to be a fantastic time. We are also going to... I have not seen the Star Wars Outlaw official story trailer, so we are going to react for that. React live for you. It is going to be fantastic. Guys, as we are going through the episode today, we are going to follow a rough script. We're going to be talking about our top 10 Star Wars games. Please put any questions, comments, concerns that you have in the chat. We will answer all those questions and bank them for later at the end of the episode. We had a lot of success with that last time, so we're going to keep doing that. Let's go ahead and let's get started with the official intro. Andrew, would you intro us so that way I know what to do if I have to edit this later?
For sure. Welcome to Talk About Tatooine. I'm Andrew.
I'm Nathan.
And we are twin brothers here to bring you what's new in nerddom and give colorful commentary on our favorite subjects. Welcome to our cantina. Grab a drink and settle in as we set course for realities beyond our own.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 67. Today's recording date is April 11th, and this episode is going to be released Monday, April 15th. Today, we're going to be discussing Star Wars video games, our top 10 picks, personal picks, not like overall rated from everybody, and it's going to be a fantastic time. But first, we are going to be starting off with a live review of the Star Wars Outlaws official story trailer. I'm going to be pulling that up right over here. So if you guys haven't seen it, this is your spoiler warning. I'm turning the volume up. It's going to be a fantastic time. Make sure I got that going. All right, folks, let's dig right in.
Each of you represents some of the most powerful criminal organizations in the galaxy. Pikes, Crimson Dawn, Hutts. It's a golden age for the underworld. The Empire controls every corner of the galaxy, but they're distracted by a rebellion that won't quit. It's an opportunity to make millions.
Loving this so
Kay Vess, the underworld's favorite new scoundrel. We meet at last.
What do you want?
Zarek Besh. They're new, rich, and lethal. You crossed their boss Sliro, and now he wants you gone. Rob his fortune and buy your freedom.
This job, it's a death wish. I'm in.
Out here, you live and die by your reputation. You want to survive? Know the players.
You're new to this world.
What's your problem?
Come back when you're not.
Jabba, right? Look, don't try anything. I got a whole crew surrounding the... Okay, we're skipping that part.
For about as long as I can remember, it's just been me and Nix. Doing what we have to survive. This job is my one shot at freedom. But if we're gonna pull this off, we need the right crew. And the right ship.
I hire you because you are one of the best hunters in the Outer Rim.
She's more connected than you let on, Sliro. Bess is mixed up in something bigger.
The Outer Rim is a dangerous place. Everyone is fighting for their piece of the galaxy. But all I want is to live free. So I'm gonna risk it all. Hold on, Nick!
Star Wars Outlaws pre-order available now.
Oh my goodness. Whew.
It looks
Okay.
so fun.
So a
It
lot
looks so
going on
fun.
there. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's get that out of the way. Blow everybody up so that way they can see us here. Andrew, give me your first impressions on that.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. So I watched the gameplay trailer that came out like a few months ago, probably 10 times. I'm
Nice.
so excited for this game. And like I think the storyline is really, really strong. It reminds me of like a lot of D&D campaigns. Like you're a reluctant criminal, so you're kind of like this like chaotic good, chaotic neutral person. Like you're not evil, but you're definitely still a criminal sort of thing. And I'm so excited. Like and especially because it's like there's no moral quandaries about shooting bad guys.
You're like, everyone's kind of a bad guy, so you can kind of
Yeah.
shoot everybody.
Oh, and like I love that this is taking place somewhere between episodes 5 and 6. That's like a really good time period because there's actually what 2.5, 3 years between The Empire Strikes Back and The Return of the Jedi. A lot can happen, and frankly, like the rebellion is not in a good place. Like they basically just get pounded into the dirt after the Battle of Hoth. They scatter, they separate. Several members of the rebel heroes, you could say, are frozen in carbonite or taken prisoner, or they basically just go into hiding. And like, so I don't think we're going to see any involvement of the rebellion hardly at all, and that's something I'm really excited for.
Absolutely.
Because it gives a part of the story that's not predictable. I'm really excited to play like because the Empire's had like this really interesting relationship with the criminal underworld, like we saw in episode 5 where Vader has like some of the most premier bounty hunters on his capital ship. But it's like, okay, how did he have those connections? How does the Empire actually treat criminals? Because the rebellion also has a really interesting relationship with criminals in that they're like, hey, we'll recruit anybody as long as you hate the Empire.
Yeah.
And the Empire's like, we don't really care if you do crime as long as you don't get in our way.
Pretty much.
So,
that is hitting the nail on the head.
I'm really excited. And I think if I can make a prediction, I don't think seeing the Empire as like an antagonist in this game is going to be wholly our choice. I think we're going to basically fall on the crosshairs of the Empire, killing the wrong officer, taking the wrong bribe, giving the wrong bribe, perhaps, and that's how we're going to get into the sights of the Empire. And I think Kay Vess is mostly trying to just stay out of their way entirely, and she's going to get caught up into something, like they said in the trailer, bigger than what she meant to.
Agreed. I think she's going to be trying to stay out of the way, but I think I'm really excited to see the interactions between her and all the other syndicates, because obviously, like, since they kind of mentioned all of them in right at the beginning of the trailer, I'm very excited to see how they all play out, maybe get a little bit more lore for all those. I think this is going to be a really fun game.
Truth be told, I expect this game to break my top 10 favorite Star Wars games by the time we're done.
I sure hope so. That'd be awesome.
That's what I'm saying.
Fantastic. With that, we are going to get into our main discussion today, but first we are going to give a huge thanks to our top patrons, there we go, Mike, Isaac, and David. You guys are the reasons we do this, and honestly, it has been a delight to have you guys all in our Discord server. That being said, if you guys want to support us here at the podcast, if you join our Patreon for $5 a month, you can support us And you get access to that Discord server. You get access to our Minecraft server, which we might stream a little bit more later tonight, and helps us produce higher quality content. So please consider giving to the Patreon. You can join as either a Jedi or a Sith. They are exactly the same cost, but you get a different title. We have all Sith, not very many Jedi right now. So make sure you guys hop in there, support that, and that would be fantastic. Andrew, yes.
I'm running an ad right now. So just like perfectly breaking it up. It says it is running, even though I have my stream pulled up. Hold on. It's not actually running an ad.
Mine does this as well. It's a little bit delayed. So about when it gets to like the 45 second mark, it will usually start an ad, or it will start all the way at the 30-second mark. It's undetermined how that works, but I've got mine kind of up on this site as well. This can be also a good opportunity to say, hey, make sure you guys support us by shopping our Etsy store as well. We have cool stickers, which we are working on sourcing from different places so that we can actually make them more affordable for you guys. We also have the Liberty mug out right now as well. So if you want a 15-ounce coffee cup with an awesome Super Earth logo and Liberty on the side of it, you guys can order that all from our Etsy shop. That is Etsy/TalkAboutTatooine. Super simple. You'll find us there. Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic time. All right. So, Andrew, if you had to take a guess, unless you've already read my notes, how many separate Star Wars titles do you think there are? Video games, I should say.
I did read your notes, and I would not have guessed nearly that high. I would have guessed 50 at the absolute most.
For our listeners, there are 214 separately released Star Wars video game titles across all platforms, expansions, and styles of play. So keep in mind, like the Old Republic is on there, which is the MMO, but it also has like every expansion listed for that as well, and they're listed as separate items. So that's still a lot of releases.
I still would have gone up to maybe 125 at the absolute most.
Yeah, I would not have guessed this high. I would have stayed below 100 for sure.
214, ladies and gentlemen.
214. So there's a lot to choose from. And today we are going to be covering our top 10. This is going to be a very nostalgic throwback, so just keep that in mind here, guys. Yes. We're going to talk about the games we are most, what we loved the most, and we're going to be talking about the games we are most interested in looking forward. Most likely that will be Star Wars Outlaws and potentially some other things as well. But Andrew, why don't you start us off and give us your number 10 pick for your top 10 Star Wars video games?
Sure thing. At the bottom of my list, which is my favorite of the favorites, I put KOTOR 2. So that's Knights of the Old Republic 2. The whole relationship with Traya/Kreia, I don't know if that was supposed to be like a crazy reveal, but like through the entire game, I was like, why is my mentor also the Sith Lord? I don't get it. And to this day, I still don't quite understand like why, as like the player, we saw like these flashbacks to the Sith, and it was like, that's her. She just has braids in her hair. Like, what are we doing here? Why is she in my party?
It's like Clark Kent with glasses. You're like, I don't think that's the same person.
You're like, why did the heck does Superman work here? But like, she was. Can we just talk about how annoying Traya was, or Kreia, whatever the heck her name was?
She was a nag.
At least when she was Darth Traya, she was just like, now I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, thank you for being straightforward. Finally.
This is so refreshing.
In one of the very first games where you could have like influence, or at least that I played. I don't actually know. I don't have an exhaustive history of all RPGs, but it seemed like whatever choice you made, she would be displeased with you no matter what. So when the time came around, when you're like, you finally get to fight her, I'm like, thank you. I'm like, I'm gonna kill her.
Yeah, you can't really be light side. You can't really be dark side. She disapproves of you for both. So
yeah, she calls you weak if you let people live, and she calls you savage if you kill people. And it's like, okay, this game was made in 2003 or whatever. There's not like 10 choices. There's 2 choices. I was like, it all has to fit on one disc.
Exactly.
It's not a huge game.
For my top 10, I put the newest version of Battlefront 1. So,
interesting.
I loved all of the Battlefront titles. You're going to see quite a few of those on my top 10 list. I really, really enjoyed them just because I felt like it was a very simple game. And I felt like they did a lot of things well and expanded on a game that was already very simple at its core. You didn't need a lot of different things. Let me see. Did I switch that up? Okay, yeah, I had some bullet points in the wrong spots there, so I do apologize for the pause. But it was a very simple game to start when we were talking about the classics. And so moving up, it was just like we would really just wanted a new skin. They gave us a campaign, which was fine. It wasn't like the coolest thing in the world, but it was all right.
Did Battlefront? So they're so hard to refer to. I want to say it came out in 2015. The Battlefront reboot, it did not launch with a campaign, correct?
No, it didn't. Actually, you know what? I might be thinking of the Battlefront 2 campaign with Iden Versio.
You are. I don't think Battlefront, the 2015 version, ever had chitty chitty chat chat, says the Combrew. I don't think Battlefront 2015 ever had a campaign. And I was really salty about it.
That's fair. I still loved the gameplay, which is why I put this at the worst of the best, if that makes sense.
Yes, so. It was fun. And it looked beautiful. And for whatever reason, I did not put Battlefront 2015 on my list whatsoever.
That's fair.
But I did love playing it. It was really, really fun. And like, not to spoil anything, but the other Battlefront 2 is on my list.
It is on mine as well. All right, let's move on to number 9. My number 9 was Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. This was such a fun title. So my first note is I remember being the graphics on this. They were so bad.
They were terrible.
Like, even back then, I was like, these graphics are not great. Because this was, like, back when, like, Halo was out. And you're like, hey, I can play Halo Combat Evolved, and I could also play this. And you're like, no.
So, did you look up when this game was actually released?
Yes, at one point, but I didn't write it down.
Okay, then looking at the graphics, when would you have said this game was released?
Oh, probably, like, 99.
I would have said something similar. 99, maybe even like 98, 97. 2003, I'm like,
ouch.
What happened, guys? Your like buddy who you meet on the transport, his face is like 3 polygons tops.
Wild.
He's an uggo.
He is an uggo. But I loved this game, even though the graphics were terrible. I loved just bouncing around like the post-Empire, just trying to like kill as many stormtroopers as possible. Loved all the new force powers and basically just like getting to change the fate of the galaxy because you're like, hey, by the way, I'm this new recruit in Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy. I'm probably pretty important. And then I'm like, Force Lightning, and it's just great. And it was a fun mix of like force powers, blasters, and lightsabers. I felt like you got to use all 3 really well.
For sure. For my number, we're on number 9.
Yes.
For very similar reasons, I put Star Wars The Force Unleashed at number 9. This is my 9th favorite Star Wars game. This game was super fun, but also like it basically ruined my expectation of Star Wars movies and how the Force is shown on screen. I understand that Starkiller is supposed to be hyperbole in terms of how he uses the Force. I get that. But the movies just don't use the Force hardly at all. And I'm not talking about just the movies that I don't like. I'm talking about the movies that I do like too. I'm like, wouldn't it have been cooler if you did like a quadruple backflip?
Yeah.
Oh. And like, not to be super negative Nancy, but that's probably like, again, that's like my biggest gripe with the movies, but the Force should be cooler. We need to be following the rule of cool, I think, just a touch more when it comes to usage of the Force. We've gotten the whole like rule of cool and I call it big truck syndrome when it comes to killer star stations and Star Killer Base and Death Star 2. Like, like in episode 6, like the Emperor, he got his feelings hurt, and so he's like, well, maybe if next time my truck had jacked up wheels, this wouldn't have happened. I drive a big truck because I have a small. Never mind.
Anyways, very much as our chat points out, Strike Master Ice says, Force Unleashed is such a fun time. Nothing like dragging a Star Destroyer out of the sky. Absolutely. Again, it's the
Can we talk about how cool that was?
One of the coolest uses of the Force.
And it was like a little challenging. You had to like really grip with the thumbsticks and grapple with them in such like a certain way. I was like, is it working? Is it not working? But when it happened, I was like, this is the coolest feeling in the whole world. I will never feel this way again. Oh, so good.
It was such a fun time. All right, folks, we are moving on to number 8. Andrew, go ahead and hit us with your number 8. Unless that was your number 8.
That was my number 9. And my number 8 was your number 9, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy.
Fantastic.
So I actually bought this game again when Xbox a couple years back was like, hey, we're going to be re-releasing original Xbox titles onto the Xbox marketplace. They re-released like 100 games or something. And I immediately scrolled down. I was like, Control F, Star Wars. And I was like, oh, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy is coming back. And for whatever reason, my wife was going on a girls' trip and I ordered pizza. I bought this game and I spent an entire weekend playing it.
Ooh, that sounds like a really good time.
It was a great time. I had such a good time. Nice. Oh, it was so fun. It really cemented my love for playing as a wielder of the Force and how I loved using dark side powers. Can we just talk about how like Star Wars games have not figured out how to like make light side powers fun?
Yeah, they're like, you can use Force Push and Force Heal. You're like, what about Lightning Storm?
Yeah, I was like, it's like, but I want to be Storm from the X-Men and shoot lightning out of my little fingies and roast everything in a circle diameter of like 100 meters. It's like, I'm gonna kill everything. It's like, if combat is going to be the primary focus of, if combat is going to be the primary focus of the game, give me combat light side powers. All of them were like alacrity and heal. It's like, okay, well, I'm a dark side user, so now I'm getting punished for using light side powers. It uses half my force bar or whatever. I mean, that's KOTOR, but
yes,
like in the end though, like I did like the choices for the most part. Like, okay, I'm going to spec into dark side powers, but my character is still going to be lawful good. He's going to kick the crap out of you with like, he's going to choke you. He's going to drain your life. He's going to use lightning. But as soon as it comes to making a decision and be like, we have to be cool. We got to be cool. Everyone's got to follow the law. I am the law, judge, jury, and executioner, but we still have to follow the law.
A criminally underused force power that our chat points out is Shatterpoint from Calm Brew. Absolutely. It is mentioned in the book Shatterpoint that is about Mace Windu, which is a force power basically given after the fact. Like, you don't really know Mace Windu has this power in the movies because it's never stated. And it's super cool.
Quick synopsis of the book Shatterpoint. Mace Windu goes to space Vietnam, learns how to kick the crap out of people, almost dies like a couple times, and we learn why he's one of the coolest Jedi ever. Go read it. It is an excellent Legends novel.
Absolutely.
We talk about number 7.
Unless you got my number 8. So my number 8 was actually Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds.
Really?
Yes, I love this game. Again, I am picking the games with the absolute worst graphics. So I really love this just because you could make these like massive battles with so many different factions. You could play as
Obviously.
Gungans. Like, they literally
That
had
was
an
weird.
entire army that was skinned as the Gungans. And I
That
was
was
like, this is
super
great.
weird.
I'm like, I get to throw blue balls at people? This is fantastic. But essentially what I would do is I would like just put as many units on the map as possible, and I would make them fight each other. It was such a
Real
fun time.
quick, can you give us your best Gungan impression?
No.
I'll give you my bod.
Is Ronga. Headphones almost came off.
I had to take mine off. Also, my camera didn't catch that at all because it's recording in 30 FPS. So it just like it's like, okay, you're just gonna become a blur that's like this big.
He's moving in too many frames. All right, moving on to number 7. So for this one, I said Knights of the Old Republic number 2. I did like this quite a bit. I didn't hate Kreia as much as you did. I still didn't like her, but I think really the discovering like new force powers of the Triumvirate was one of my like favorite things in the world. Like Scion is basically a force zombie. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
That was amazing.
And Nihilus is like, hey, by the way, I eat entire worlds. And that is so cool. Sorry, I have hiccups. And I just loved learning about those new guys. It wasn't as good as the original KOTOR, but like it played almost exactly the same. It had new characters. It had new force powers. I played through this quite a few times. KOTOR 2 as my number 7.
If you were to give us an estimation, how many times did you play KOTOR 2?
KOTOR 2, probably like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
I can
probably
give you
say 4 or 5.
I can give you an exact number on KOTOR 1, but I'm going to save it for later.
Damn.
Yes. I don't know why that number's burned into my brain. But anyways, Andrew, give me your number 7, please.
Number 7. Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy.
No way.
I loved this game. For whatever reason, I 100%ed this game. I found every single gold brick, every single mini kit. I got all of the upgrades. It said 100%. And when they released the Skywalker Saga, the Skywalker Saga, first off, I bought it immediately. I was like, yep, $70, here you go. And my wife and I, we played through the whole thing. And I was like, cool, now I'm going to 100% it. So they don't have gold blocks. They have force blocks. It's the same thing. There's 1,200 to collect.
Oh my gosh.
Not including mini kits, not including upgrades, not including ships and characters. It's a very immersive game. It's very fun. However, the controls are dumb. They're a little sluggish, and the load times are pretty bad.
Ooh.
Couldn't do it. I was like, you know what? This is not going to be a game I 100%, because it's just annoying enough to where I'm like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Right.
But yeah, my number 7, Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy. I had such a blast playing. It was so fun.
Absolutely. Andrew, go ahead and follow up with your number 6 spot, please.
So I made a distinction between this next game and one of its expansions. For my number 6 slot, I put the base game of Empire at War.
Oh, so good.
It's so good. It's so fun. We both were like, it's that freaking airport.
Fun fact, there's an airport near where we used to grow up, which is currently where I live, and I'm so sorry. Anyways, Andrew, continue.
Okay, Empire at War. So this is just straight up Empire versus Rebellion. Honestly, I would even love to like stream this game because it's so fun.
Ooh,
like,
yeah.
like no mods, no nothing, just play it. Although, and Empire at War has a thriving mod community. They have like Thrawn's Revenge. They have some Age of the Republic mods where you play in the Clone Wars, which is awesome.
Nice.
And I think and this is not a perfect game by any stretch, because the land battles are bad.
They're terrible.
They're really
very annoying
bad
to play.
They're
It's all about the
so
space
annoying.
combat.
It's all about space combat, 100%. Combrew says modding communities give such longevity to games. Dude, yeah. Empire at War is a
100%.
great example. Dawn of War, the Warhammer game, also has excellent mods. We couldn't get some of the mods to work for multiplayer, which was a bit of a kick in the nads to us. But they're so fun. There's so many cool mods.
Absolutely. I love that one. I do have that on Steam, so I could stream that theoretically. So that's definitely one I forgot about that I should maybe pick up. I think
1v1 me, bro.
Okay.
1v1 me.
All right. Can I beat the Zon Consortium?
No.
Aw, man. Anyways, my number 6 was Battlefront 2. I'm going to keep my notes for this really short because you guys kind of already heard me talk about Battlefront. You're going to hear me talk about this actually quite a lot. First off, EA can suck a dick. Absolutely. So that's my thoughts on EA. But
oh my Lord.
This is a really fun game. I love this game. I thought it was really fun. And they had like very, very simple PvE missions. I wish they would have gone in more for the PvE. I wish there was like horde modes. I wish there was like a better campaign. The campaign was okay. It was kind of slapped together. It was very short.
Oh, it wasn't good.
It wasn't good. And it was very lackluster. I didn't like that Iden Versio went to the rebellion. I wanted her to be a bad guy.
Yes. So I can get on a pretty long diatribe about that because I was hyped for Battlefront 2, even to the point where I bought Inferno Squad, the book, because I was like, oh, they're coming out with a book. Like, this is awesome. Also, the 2015 Battlefront book accompaniment, Twilight Company, hot trash. Ignore it.
I know, that was a bummer of a read.
It's so boring. The book Inferno Squadron, awesome. And honestly, reading that book and given Iden's proclivity to be a staunch follower of the Empire, even after going undercover and infiltrating, I want to say it was like one of Saw Gerrera's like adjacent what are they called? Cells, yeah. She like her and I think Dell infiltrate this rebel cell, and they're like totally fanatic. They don't care about killing civilians, which is the whole reason why they're there. And they dismantled them, like just take them down to pieces. And from that experience, I don't see how that specifically would have undermined her faith in the Empire. I mean, we see why she eventually was like, oh my gosh, the Empire's evil. But like her hatred for the rebellion is so strong in that book that once I played the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign, I was like, where is this coming from? Because she was actually on the Death Star 1 when it exploded, or I should say right before it exploded, and she was actually in a TIE fighter in the space battle when it exploded, and it basically like knocked her unconscious. She was like floating in space for like several days before an Imperial recovery crew actually got her. Or it was either that or she crash landed on Yavin, stole a ship, and then escaped.
It was something like that.
It's been over a year since I've read it. But she eventually escapes, and she's like, she has this burning hatred inside of her for the rebellion because they're like, they killed millions of people on the space station. Like, the rebels are mass murderers. They can't get away with this. And she's not really aware of like Alderaan, or if she is, she's like, well, they were rebels. So she kind of like justified
it's a terrorist planet.
Yeah, she's like, it was just a whole planet of terrorists, which is an insane thought to have. You're like, they can't all be terrorists.
That's not like, very imperial of you.
Yeah, they're like, this entire planet has come up to a consensus, and they don't fight, and they all have become space terrorists. It's like, no. It's like, you can't even go more than like what, a block in this world without bumping into someone you heavily disagree with.
Very true.
Like, I don't know. I just think the Empire was a little bit too hasty. I don't know why they would blow up a whole planet. Maybe because they're super evil.
I love that. Andrew, go ahead and give us your number 6.
My number 6, or my number 5, you
Number
mean.
5, excuse me.
The Battlefront 2 Classic.
Nice.
I'm going to specifically highlight the Galactic Conquest mode. Was one of the most fun I've ever had playing a video game, where you just like mow your way across the galaxy. You get your sweet upgrades. You're like, am I going to use reinforcements, or am I going to like give my guys extra back to extra damage, extra speed? Do I want to bring in a hero? If I bring in a hero, what planet am I going to use it on? And if they use reinforcements, I basically have to kill a whole battalion on my own, or we're still going to lose.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so fun. It was so fun. And the space battles, for how kind of like janky they were exactly what I wanted. They were so fun. They were so fun. A lot of really strong core memories associated with the classic Battlefront 2.
Absolutely. And we did a lot of split screen on this one because there was only one Xbox and we had to both get our time in. So we split screened this quite a bit, which was very, very fun.
Oh, so fun.
For my number 5, I actually put, for the same reasons you loved this game, so Force Unleashed was my number 5.
Nice.
But I put this just a little bit higher. I'm like literally, so Strike Master Ice in our chat said this very, very well. I was like, I got to pull a Star Destroyer out of space. Like, what is cooler than that? There's so few things that they have done in the Star Wars universe that are cooler than that. And then my next comment was just, why can't this be canon? Why can this not be canon? It's too cool. It was too cool. They had to shut it down. It's heartbreaking that it's not canon. So,
well, and like it's totally the MO of like the Emperor and Darth Vader to have secret apprentices. And I think that was the reason why it wasn't canon. Even when it was released, they're like, this is not part of the official story. They're like, Vader would never have a secret apprentice. Like, that violates the rule of 2. And I'm like, oh, you mean the thing that Palpatine did constantly?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The Inquisitors, all violations.
Yeah. The Inquisitors is a huge violation of the rule of 2.
They're not apprentices. I'm like, dude, they're dark side Force users. Like, they don't have to be apprentices. The whole point of the rule of 2 was to get rid of the Sith Empire. Anyways, let's move on to our number 4. So I actually put Battlefront 2, the classic version, as my number as my number 2.
That's what I'm talking about.
Literally because this is
your number 2?
Sorry, as Battlefront 2 as my number 4.
I was like, we are on
I apologize
the 4th slot.
This is one of my favorite introductions to space combat. I just loved the whole thing. And in my opinion, the space combat in Battlefront 2 Classic is better than Star Wars Squadrons.
That hurts my feelings. And I don't like that you said that.
Well, it's true. So
it is true.
I just loved it. It was simple. It was fun. And we played the absolute heck out of this. I'm actually hoping to still 100% the Classic Edition on Xbox if I can get the stream quality to improve a little bit and microphone quality to improve over on my Xbox, but we're working on it.
So that's actually one thing I hoped they would have done a little bit better in the newer iterations of Star Wars Battlefront is, one, bring back space combat and allow, hey, I want to board enemy ships. That part was super fun. I would love to be able to take over a cruiser and like fight through a cruiser. And we kind of saw bits and pieces of that where it's like, oh, you're fighting on the Death Star in the 2017 version of Battlefront 2, which is super fun. It's like one of my favorite maps. But I wanted more. I wanted to be bigger. And I understand that takes tons and tons of development time. Like, games have not gotten more simple as time goes on, which is why development times increase. This is why game prices go up. This is why games are constantly delayed and so buggy. It's because the level of complexity is not getting any simpler.
Correct.
So there's that. And I'm not excusing studios for, releasing games when they're not ready. Like, there's also tons and tons of grace from me personally when a studio is like, this is not ready yet. It needs a little bit more time in the oven before it's ready. It's like, okay, yeah, don't serve me a loaf of bread that's half raw dough. Like, you're going to make me sick and never want to eat it again.
That is
A plus for me. That analogy was on point.
Andrew, go ahead and hit us with your number 4 selection, please.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Nice.
The first one is the best one. There were certain mechanics I liked better about KOTOR 2. There was more force powers. There was more feats. There was more like character customization, all that kind of stuff. But the reveal at the end of Knights of the Old Republic 1, that it's like you were Darth Revan the whole time. I'm like, what the heck?
So good.
My little tiny child mind exploded and leaked out of my ears. I probably played this game 10 times through, and I still get freaked out about walking on the bottom or the
bottom of the ocean at Manon.
Yeah, with the sharks going around. I'm
Hated
like,
that
absolutely not, dude.
Hated
Sea
that
monsters
part.
freak me out.
Because when you get within their radius, they kill you immediately.
And it's just like, oh, you can't do anything. It was like when we played Sea of Thieves, and I'm so glad we never streamed that gameplay, because I legitimately would scream if I got knocked off to the ship and a shark would attack me. Legitimately screamed into my microphone.
Stupid megalodons.
Oh, freaking jeez. Oh, they're so scary. I do not like the ocean. It's terrifying. Huh. That's where the monsters live.
That's where all the monsters live. Yeah, you bet. All right, folks, we are moving on into slot number 3. Andrew, would you go ahead and give us your number 3?
I noticed that neither of us have put this on our list. Let me scroll up a little bit. Oh yeah, I see you. At my number 3, I put Republic Commando.
Excellent.
So you've probably heard us talk a lot about in our review of the Bad Batch, because we talk about a lot of the commandos who are in the Tantus facility. They're what's his face, super scary space Nazi doctor, Hemlock. His personal guards are the Republic Commandos, and they're so cool because of this game. Oh my gosh. So you get to play as Boss, the leader of Delta Squad, who leads his other commandos, Scorch, Fixer, and Sev, into some terrifying scenarios. Like the whole ghost ship in the second act.
So cool.
Oh my gosh. First off, terrifying, because all you hear is just like screaming, and like there's like all these jump scares, and it's dark, and you're like, I'm 7 years old. This is this is so scary. And I cannot believe they didn't make a sequel. I don't get it. It was a great game.
One of the biggest mysteries that will go unsolved is the Republic Commando game. And no sequel.
Anyway, that is all I'm going to say about that for now. Nathan, give us your number 3.
So, unlike you, I did not split this up into 2 different iterations, but my number 3 was Star Wars Empire at War. An absolute banger of an RTS. Again, mostly referring to the space combat because it was so much fun.
Oh, so fun.
I still have this on my PC. I kind of want to play it now. And honestly, Conquering the Galaxy was a blast. I loved playing as this on Consortium, because I would literally just build mass drivers on whatever frigate ship they had, and I would just like annihilate people's hard points and then be like, haha, you don't have engines, haha, you don't have a hangar. And then I would just like let a few of them die to small ships, and then I just mop everything up. Like, these things were capital ship killers. So much fun. And I would just do that over and over and over again. And I would spawn in like 40 of them. They'd kill one, and I'm like, all right, I'll bring in another, and another, and another, and another. It was so nice.
I think it was the Vengeance class frigate, where it came with dual mass drivers.
Yes.
And the nice thing about mass drivers, which is that's just a regular gun. It's not a laser, it's not an ion cannon. They're like, gun beats everything. It's like they literally brought a gun to rock, paper, scissors. And it's like, oh, you have shields? No, you don't. I don't care. Oh, you're trying to escape and you have full shields? I'll just destroy your engines real quick. Oh, you can't escape? You're dead. I win. Which is probably some sort of war crime. It's like, oh,
Well,
you're trying to flee?
And the nice thing is that, ooh, hold on, trying to reconnect, make sure you have a stable internet connection.
That's coming from Riverside on my side.
Okay, cool. I was like, oh no, is everything about to poop out? But yeah, that was one of my favorite games. And shoot, I kind of want to stream that some more. Anyways, let's move on into.
I'm like, I want to get back into these games.
Let's move into our second picks. Now, I picked Knights of the Old Republic, the original for my second favorite.
Yeah,
and
buddy.
I can tell you, I beat this game all the way through 13 times, minimum.
13.
I played this
Holy
game
smokes.
front to back 13 times.
What was your favorite party composition?
HK-47 and usually Jolie.
Interesting.
Because he was a great healer, and HK-47 was the long-range support that I needed. Because I was going in with lightsabers and force powers, and so it gave me a little bit of everything.
Did you ever once play as a ranged character?
Once or twice, and it was hard.
Dude, yeah. I'm like, why do they make blasters suck so hard?
The game is super poorly balanced. In the beginning, like the first couple of missions, you can play blasters super fine, especially if you're fighting other like blaster opponents. It's actually not that bad. Like you kill a lot of Mandalorians in that game, let me tell you what. And so that's like really, really fun.
That's lore accurate though.
It is.
Revan kills a lot of Mandos.
But then like once you start fighting like only like dark side people, you're like, you can't shoot them. Like they've reflected all back at you and you're like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
This is broken. Yeah. So, but that being said, I tried almost every piece of conversation. I tried every play style, pretty much every composition I could go through. It was a great time.
I think my favorite party was T3M4. Not. He sucked. Oh, you're so terrible.
He's handy. Like when you need to unlock stuff and you don't have anything spec'd into there, I'm just saying.
I never used him.
I used him a decent amount because there were certain missions that had certain things that were like you had to unlock, and if I didn't have the skills for it, I'm like, I gotta bring him. Or I'd bring Mission.
I found Mission to be a little glass cannony without the cannon part.
She's just breakable. Yeah. Mission Val was hard to keep alive.
But I would do Zalbar all the time. Yeah. I was like, oh, Wookiee? 100%. Even that, the first time I ever played the first time I ever played Edge of the Empire, which is the Star Wars version of D&D, I made a Wookiee character, and oh, he's so fun. He was so fun.
That was really fun. I remember that. I think the hardest part about Knights of the Old Republic, I'll finish with this before we go into our first picks, is if you turn dark side, you have to kill Zalbar at some point in mission if you don't pick the right pieces of dialogue and like basically don't have a life debt, and it kind of sucks.
It's the worst feeling in the whole world.
Yeah, you have to kill basically half your party, and then just like, that's what happened. My bad, guys. All right, we are going into... Did you give me your second?
My second is Forces of Corruption, specifically.
Yeah.
I don't really... We talked about it a lot. I don't really want to talk about it a bunch. I mean, they're the best faction, is the Zon Consortium. They're
100%.
So much better. I bought the gold pack on Steam, so if you ever want to play... or in
I might also have the gold pack.
Yeah. It was on sale for like $5, so it was like... It's like, all right, I can spend $5. I can do that all day.
Absolutely. Andrew, go ahead and hit me with your number one pick.
Even with the amount of criticism I've already given this game in this podcast, in this recording, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the 2017 version, is my all-time favorite Star Wars game because the combat is so fun. Because they were it's so immersive in the combat. It's so fun. And I put this at my top because this is the game I put the most playtime in. Couldn't get enough of it. Playing as like the Republic and playing as a Republic commando in Battlefront 2. It was so fun. I had such a good time. I still see people post gameplay videos of it all the time, and I'm like, I gotta boot that up again. I'm like, that is so fun. But then I remember how EA screwed you over and you can't play now.
Yeah, they locked me out of my account because I have an email address associated with it that is not active anymore.
Which is so dumb.
So dumb. My number one pick is Star Wars Republic Commando.
Obviously.
Specifically because
so
this was one of the most intense campaigns I ever played. Like the end of the ghost ship when you're trying to like fight your way out and like all the droid dispensers are going in. That's like the most like intense piece of combat that I still remember like fighting through those. It was tough. Strike Master Ice getting it done. Oop, Adobe's like popping up. Sorry about that, guys.
Get out of here, Adobe. No one likes you.
I know, that's going to show up in the podcast too. Anyways, but I still to this day feel emotionally damaged after Kashyyyk. So if you guys have heard on the podcast, it's not canon that this specifically happened, even though Delta Squad exists, but it is in the game. You leave Sev behind. Sev goes MIA, and they never picked it up. They don't necessarily say if you decide to like go look for him. They just say, hey, the mission's complete, and you kind of just like leave. And Sev is never to be seen again. Most likely taken by Separatist and Trandoshan forces. Wild to think about. And we'll never know.
Yeah, I still think about that all the time. I'm like, Sev is MIA as far as I'm concerned.
His status is still to this day MIA.
Because what do we say? If you don't see a body, they're not dead.
So this is going to be a slight detraction. Isn't it Halo lore that Spartans are never listed as KIA? They're all
Correct.
MIA.
They're all MIA.
Oh, when you even thinking about that kind of churns my stomach a little bit. I'm like, man, this freaking sucks, guys.
Gosh.
It's
Strike Master Ice says that game gave me an insane respect for super battle droids. They were so hard to kill.
You would tank those mothers with grenades, and you're like, oh, it's still walking towards me, and it's just disheveled. It's missing all its armor plating, and it's like, I'm still going to shoot you in the face with a rocket launcher. And you're like...
Yeah, I know. It's trundling forward like, it's fine. You only got my skin. And you're like...
such a fun game.
Oh
Does
my
not
gosh, they
play
were so
well, by the
strong.
way. I have it on Steam, and it did not adapt well to PC/controller play. Super poor. Not great.
Rats.
Yeah, I tried to stream it once, and it was a nightmare.
Ugh.
You should have gone for the head. Absolutely. So that was a tough one. All right, guys. So we just went through our top 10 for Andrew and myself. Andrew, looks like you have a little bit of HoloNet news, and then we'll close out the podcast episode, but we're still going to stream for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to bail. I'm going to be sitting in as a moderator, but Nathan is going to stream a little bit after this. But first, some HoloNet news. Democratic Demolition is now live in Helldivers. This is the new war bond. I cannot wait for this. I'm so excited. If you've been a fan of the stream so far, we have been playing a ton of Helldivers. The lore is awesome. The story is awesome. The gameplay is cinematic as heck. The new defense mission against the automatons, they were gone for like 30 minutes. They're like, yay, we won. Oh no, they're back. It's like that Hammond or James May, the guy from Top Gear. He goes, where he's like, oh no, I've been defeated. Anyway.
Yeah. 100%.
100%. But Democratic Demolition, it's like everything in this war bond is specifically designed to explode in some sort of fun way. Super excited. In other news, we're going to move over to the Warhammer fandom. The Orcs are getting their codex for 10th edition. Everyone, let's give a little bit of round of applause for our local Orc player, Nathan. Nathan, can you give us your biggest wah?
No, because my window's open and I don't want my neighbors to hate me.
He's a coward.
Wow.
Wah.
Wow, that's that. No, that's a different thing entirely. That's a Pokemon. So I play Orcs. I'm very excited about this.
Do it.
The Combrute. Yep, absolutely. So I'm super excited about this. He's like, do it. Dude, no, my window is open, man. My wife is on the other side of the wall.
Give me like an 80 decibel wah.
I gotta edit this later. People gotta listen with their headphones.
Give me a 70 decibel wah.
Wah!
There it is.
There we go. So my wife,
peer pressure still alive.
My wife is probably looking over the wall right now, and she's like, "What is wrong with my husband?" To be fair, I did tell her I was going to talk with the nerds online, so she does know what I'm doing right now. So, anyways, I'm super excited about it. It'll do. It wasn't my best, I know, but I also leaned away. I should have just inserted mic into mouth. But yeah, I'm super excited about it, and we will keep you updated when we get more news about it. We might even have another TAT episode on Warhammer, because we haven't had one of those in a while.
That's because the Dark Angels Codex was poopy trash, and I didn't want to talk about it and cry on stream.
That is actually super fair. I understand your hurt. You had a right to not engage in conversation for that.
I'm going to give you guys a quick review of the Dark Angels Codex. Hold on, just let me mute my mic really quick. I'm back.
So my podcast listeners are not going to appreciate that much, but if you guys watch on Twitch or YouTube, you're really going to love that.
You can just put in a couple bleep sound effects.
He said something about a female dog. I don't know. Yeah, that's not good. Also, guys, our last piece of news is we have got some fun stuff coming up, specifically next month, because next month is basically Star Wars month. We all agreed collectively that May is Star Wars month, right?
Yes.
Okay. Andrew, what are we doing in May?
So on May the 4th, this is still kind of in preparations, but Nathan and I are hoping to do a super long stream, maybe even turn it into a subathon. And on the May the 4th stream, we are going to announce the details of our lightsaber giveaway. This is something we do annually, so we're going to tell you how you can enter, and it's going to be a good time. So May the 4th, ladies and gentlemen, so that's a Saturday. We're probably going to stream in the morning.
Keep that in mind.
Because I might also be having company over that evening to do Star Wars stuff. I'm not sure yet. I asked my wife and she didn't respond, so.
Honey, can I have people over for Star Wars Day?
Babe, I want to watch Star Wars with the boys.
100%. So we're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff. Last year, we gave away 3 lightsabers.
3 lightsabers. Nice lightsabers.
And these were mostly free. I think our patrons got these lightsabers, like $100 lightsabers, for like $5 a piece.
Yes, actually, yeah. Since our patrons who got the lightsabers, they are still at a profit as far as like supporting us on Patreon, because it's only $5 a month. We don't have any higher tiers, we don't have any lower tiers. It's just $5 a month. You get tons of free stuff. I mean, we are not making money on this. This is I don't know who's leading this operation.
I would say, that being said, we are hoping that we can break even on this next one so we can continue doing giveaways. We can't just give away a bunch of really expensive lightsabers every single year, but that's also why we're going to be doing a longer period for the giveaway, and there's going to be easy ways to enter. We're basically going to be doing this as a raffle ticket system. The more tickets you buy, essentially, the larger your chances of winning are going to be. So, and that's going to come in the form of Patreon donations basically every month. until we do the giveaway. So it's going to be from May to August. It's a very long giveaway period. And it's also going to be from our Twitch subs as well.
These details are a little tentative because we do have to figure out how to track all of this in the background, because a lot of you have subscribed to our channel. A lot of you had gifted subs. A lot of you are subscribed to our Patreon. We're going to track all of that. We just need to figure out how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a fun time. There will be free lightsabers given away. Well, mostly free lightsabers.
Extremely heavily discounted lightsabers.
And there will be free-ish ways to enter. Like, you'll have the opportunity to use your Twitch Prime subs, where you're going to be tracking that as well. That's a sort of free way to enter. But we also probably will do another giveaway between now and August, because August is the lightsaber giveaway, and it's only April, and we want to give away more stuff between now and then. I think that's fair of me to say. Can I go now?
Let me outro us and I'll let you go. All right, so I'm going to say this just so like I have a nice hard ending point for when I cut this later, but stick around, guys. We are going to stream some more stuff later.
The stream is not over.
All right, so for the podcasters, thank you guys all so much for watching. Every single one of you is amazing, handsome, beautiful, whatever you prefer. Leave us your theories in the comments about anything Star Wars related, Warhammer related, Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, whatever it might be. If you've got fun art projects or models that you're working on, send us a picture on Twitter or Instagram. Tag us in those. We'd love to see them. If you guys have questions you'd like to see on air, make sure to shoot us an email at talkabouttatooine@gmail.com, or any of our socials. You guys can slide into our DMs and ask us questions there as well. Whenever we do live podcasts, any Q&A is going to be answered right on screen. So make sure you guys do that as well. Make sure to subscribe, like, and follow. If you got those Prime subs here, guys, hit us up with those. Any way you support the podcast literally goes so far in helping us create as much new content as possible. Thank you guys so much, and until next time, may the Force be with you.